Chapter 185. Purple hair, purple eyes. Haha. This battle will be interesting to watch. The battle state of a special bloodline isn't difficult to comprehend. Like that Zhao Wuji was comprehending it in a battle of life and death. I wonder if this brat will also be like Zhao Wuji. The Guardian Elder laughed. The Seal Elders all looked towards the four-way crystal at the center of the hall with anticipation. Before the demon-locking tower, the battle between the four peerless young powerhouses still continued. Zhao Wuji and Easy both displayed the strongest state of their special bloodline. And although Easy's intent realm was one level stronger than Zhao Wuji's, Zhao Wuji, who possessed a battle body, was like a god of war, getting stronger and stronger as they fought, and had completely gained the upper hand. If it wasn't for Easy's wine spirit body being very fast, I'm afraid it would have been defeated by Zhao Wuji. Special bloodlines were also divided into strengths and weaknesses, like the Kangqian hegemony bloodline was listed as one of the top 10 strongest special bloodlines in the legends. Naturally, it was not something that could be compared to those ordinary special bloodlines. Under the top 10 special bloodlines, Zhao Wuji's battle body and Lei Yun's thunder body were much stronger than the other special bloodlines, while the fire spirit body and wine spirit body were considered the most common special bloodlines. Only, in this scorching hot space filled with magma, Wuxuang's fire spirit body was much more powerful, while Easy's wine spirit body was restricted. In the cultivation world, for a special bloodline to be powerful, apart from the special bloodline possessor's talent surpassing others, there was another important special power. That was the combat state. No matter what special bloodline it was, they all had to go through awakening, combat state, and great success, these 3 steps. Awakening, needless to say, as long as it was a special bloodline, no matter which special bloodline it was, it would naturally awaken. It was only the length of time that was different. After the awakening of the special bloodline, whether it is talent or enlightenment, are enhanced a lot. Not ordinary people can be compared. Each is 1 in a million genius. This is the special bloodline possessor's superiority. In addition, each special bloodline has its own strongest combat state. This combat state will completely explode the strongest power of the special bloodline owner, like Zhao Wuji, Wuxuang, Easy is now. The great special bloodline is already invincible, even in the heavenly realm. The great special bloodline is also very rare. Every one of them is an invincible existence. Although Kangqian knew that he possessed the Kangqian hegemony blood, and he also knew the power of the Kangqian hegemony blood from Emperor Dan, he knew very little about the combat status of special bloodlines. Although Emperor Dan was clear, he didn't tell Kangqian, because this combat state was natural, and at a certain level, Kangqian would realize it, so he didn't feel the need to tell Kangqian. I'm afraid that Emperor Dan also could not have imagined that Kangqian was now being pressed into a disadvantage by Wuxuang because he had not comprehended the combat state. In the sky, between Kangqian and Wuxuang's collision, he once again spewed out a mouthful of blood and suffered a violent and heavy blow. His compaction was in a sorry state, but his eyes were very stern, and his battle intent was undiminished. Capture ye heaven, hand. Suddenly, Kangqian roared as a huge golden palm appeared out of nowhere, blasting Wuxuang, whose entire body was burning with flames, into the ground. Faced with Wuxuang's formidable power, he was forced to perform his masterstroke, the Heaven Tackling Hand. Although the Heaven Tackling Hand could not cause much damage to Wuxuang, it was enough to make Wuxuang in a sorry state. Rumble. With a violent tremor, Wuxuang's figure ****** came out and rushed towards the heavens once again. His eyes were incomparably gloomy. I'd like to see how many times you can perform the Heaven Escaping Hand. And when your true essence runs out, that will be the moment you perish. Despite being in a very sorry state, Wuxuang was still furious, his entire body exuding a powerful force. Heaven Escaping Hand. Without any unnecessary nonsense, Kang Chon once again executed the heaven-escaping hand. The golden-colored palm blasted Wuxia into the ground so hard that the entire earth trembled. It was only after 20 consecutive heaven-escaping hands like this that Kang Chon felt that there was not much true essence left in his body. And he stopped casting heaven-escaping hands at once, as he stopped in the air, gasping for breath. Again, Wuxia rushed out of the ground and roared at Kang Chon. His entire body was in a very sorry state. Despite the limited power of the heaven-tackling hands, 20 consecutive heaven-tackling hands blasted down on him, and he had suffered a considerable amount of damage. In his heart at the moment, he felt very aggrieved. Kang Chon's strength was clearly inferior to his, but with the powerful divine ability of the heaven-tackling hand, he had hardened himself to make him in such a sorry state. At this moment, the crowd watching the battle below had been completely stunned. They were in awe in their hearts. Even the powerful Wuxia had been blasted into the ground 20 times in a row by Kang Chon. This battle record was enough to stand proud of the group. Of course, some young powerhouses knew clearly in their hearts that Kang Chon was at the end of his strength. At this moment, high in the air, Kang Chon coldly held on to Wuxia, both of them looking very wretched. This battle had been going on until now. Both of them had almost brought out their strongest strength. No one dared to hold back. Wuxia stared at Kang Chon with a grim expression and said coldly, "The heaven-escaping hand is indeed powerful, but unfortunately, your true essence is limited. Next, I'll see how you can fight against me." The crowd could not help but look at Kang Chon. The situation in the field was very clear. Kang Chon was at his wit's end, or else he would not have kept using his heaven-escaping hand to block Wuxia. Even if it was a powerful divine ability, it still needed thick true essence to support it. How many more times could Kang Chon support the heaven-escaping hand at this moment? Although the battle was not over yet, by now, no one felt that Kang Chon had the possibility of turning the tables anymore. The situation in the arena was already very clear. Boom! A shocking explosion rang out. A powerful battle intent erupted from Kang Chon's body, and those icy cold eyes shot out a blade-like gaze as he put away his long black blade and blasted a fist at Wuxia, illustrating the confidence in his heart with practical actions. This fist was very domineering, and with Kang Chon's invincible domineering intent, it exerted an unimaginable power. The void shook, heavenly thunder roared, and violent energy fluctuations rushed out with Kang Chon's fist blade. HMPH. Wuxia snorted coldly, an icy killing intent flickering in his eyes as he put away his blood-colored spear, then took a step out and instantly appeared in front of Kang Chon, ushering in the same fist. Both of them chose to put away their weapons and use their fists alone to battle it out. When their fists collided together, a surge of energy shot up into the sky. Wuxia's face suddenly changed as he shouted angrily, his body glowing with light as a hot fire dragon shot up into the sky. Kang Chon coldly grunted. His fists changed again. Each punch was domineering and unrivaled, exuding invincibility. Even though Wuxia was powerful, he was knocked back at this moment. The crowd watching the battle below was shocked. What kind of fist technique was this? How could it be so strong? Overlord fist. At this moment, Kang Chon was executing the very same hegemony fist. Each punch was incomparably domineering. He was like a god of war, his golden true essence surging around him, like a golden flame burning. And every punch he threw drove violent energy fluctuations, almost collapsing the surrounding space. The crowd watching the battle was completely shocked. This kind of boxing has never been seen before. That fierce and invincible domineering aura is intimidating, even if the crowd is so far away. They can't help but be pleased and convinced under that powerful domineering aura. This was an invincible fist, and Kang Chon had even brought the power of this fist to the extreme. Wuxia was beaten back and forth for a while, and in the end, he erupted with all his strength before he was able to withstand Kang Chon's might. The red clouds in the sky trembled. The powerful force that erupted from the two caused the entire space to tremble. And every time they collided, a terrifying large explosion was involved. Not bad fist technique, but unfortunately your strength is too low. Today you will definitely die, Wuxia shouted. His eyes were filled with icy killing intent. The power of the fire spirit body was utilized by him to the extreme. Like a hot ball of true fire of the sun, engulfing towards Kang Chon. At this moment, the sky was filled with dazzling flames, like a sea of fire coming from the sky. The entire space was incinerated by the hot flames. Even some of the surrounding lone peaks and boulders were melted. Kang Chon was even blasted into the ground in the first place, the powerful force causing his entire body to tremble uncontrollably. Despite the unrivaled might of the hegemony fist, in the face of absolute power, any fist technique was useless. Just like an ant, that even if it learnt invincible aptitudes, it couldn't be forbidden to be trampled by a human's foot. When the power reaches the extreme, raise the hand and lift the foot. Directly has a destructive version of the power. This time any divine ability Daofa are useless. Wuxia is now showing an invincible power. He's strong and unrivaled. Every punch is the strongest power of the whole body. Like a huge peak, ruthlessly impacting the Kang Chon in the ground. Not good. Kang Chon is going to lose. Among the crowd watching the battle, a young powerhouse frowned. This Kang Chon's divine abilities are too powerful, whether it's the heaven escaping hand, that peerless fist technique, or that matchless slash. Each of them is enough to proudly stand out against strong people of the same age. It's a pity that he met Wuxia. The power gap is too great. A young powerhouse sighed. The special bloodline is just as strong. Even if we ordinary people are geniuses among geniuses, it is difficult for us to match the special bloodline. If that Wuxia didn't have a special bloodline, I'm afraid it would not be possible for him to occupy the second place in the submerged dragon ranking. Kang Chon is losing on his bloodline, not his strength being inferior to others. Someone said with a face full of jealousy. The crowd murmured. There were those who shook their heads and sighed, and there were also those who were shocked and jealous. But at this moment, everyone's face no longer held any illusions. Kang Chon had already lost. Boom, boom, boom. The boundless light was dazzling. A huge crack appeared on the earth. And in the middle of that, in the middle of a big pit, Kang Chon's figure was being hit by Wuxia over and over again. And he didn't even have a chance to rush out of the ground. Obviously, Wuxia was very concerned about Kang Chon. At this moment, he no longer stayed his hand. And he fully suppressed Kang Chon, wanting to directly behead Kang Chon here. Kid, I admit that your talent is good. If I give you time, you will definitely be my opponent in the future. But unfortunately, I won't give you time to grow. Today you will definitely die. A cold laugh resounded in Kang Chon's ears, followed by one terrifying impact after another. Wuxia no longer used any divine abilities anymore. He used his full power and completely suppressed Kang Chon with his strength. Even though Kang Chon's god passed through people, under this powerful force, he could only endure Wuxia's collision at the bottom of the ground. After half an hour had passed in this manner, Kang Chon's fleshly body, that was comparable to a treasure weapon, had already reached the brink of collapsing. Even if his body was as strong as it was, it would not be immune to collapsing under this horrifying impact over and over again. Compared to these, Kang Chon's body even suffered a huge trauma. I'm afraid that this is the heaviest injury he has ever suffered. That is, the last time he fought with Li Chunjiao did not end up like this. In the eyes of outsiders, Kang Chon should have collapsed by now. But no one knew that he was still clenching his teeth, with a calmness in his heart, contemplating a breakthrough method. Calm, must be calm. I will definitely be able to defeat him. Kang Chon, who had reached the realm where his heart was like a blade, no matter what time of the day, his mind remained absolutely calm. He allowed Wuxia to crash into him over and over again, gritting his teeth as he calmly contemplated a countermeasure. Kang Chon's heart was full of confidence. He always felt that he who possessed the Kang Chon hegemony blood was absolutely invincible. Amongst the same level, even if Wuxia possessed the fire spirit body, he could not be his opponent.